Okay, this is why it's important to have the correct canner if you have glass top stove. So these look identical, and these are both Prestos. Like the light. Welcome to Teal House Farm. Not at Teal House Farm today. We're visiting my friend. It's always backwards on the camera. Which way? That way. My friend Adrian. Today we're doing some canning. So come join us for the day. It's going to be fun. We're getting lots done. So we're going to start here with some barbecue pork, which we're getting warmed up to go in the jars. And then Adrian has the recipe. What are we trying today?
We are making chicken soup straight out of the Ball's Blue Book over here.
We have the Bible of canning, so we're making this one.
Yep.
So this will be fun. Just as a reminder, I am a canning rule follower. I don't know about Adrian. Are you a canning rule follower?
Probably should be.
So we'll be canning chicken soup without any noodles or anything in it. If you want noodles, you can add them later. It's recommended to not have noodles and such things that expand, like, trying to think of an example besides noodles, and I can't. You can put there's a guideline for rice. It's a tiny embedded amount. It's like just like a tablespoon of rice, but you're not supposed to put a lot of those things in jars because it can affect the canning temperature and breeding grounds for botulism, which we don't want, so save your noodles for later. But yeah, let's get some work done. The barbecue pork is pretty simple. It's 12 pounds of chopped up pork into big chunks with some diced onions, and then I made my own barbecue sauce. I'll link that below, but you could definitely use your favorite pre-made barbecue sauce. We mix it all in the pot, bring it up to a boil, and then put it in these jars. Adrian's filling the jars. I'm wiping down the lids of the jars and then putting lids and rings on, and this 12 pounds of pork will make about 15 pints, maybe 16 pints of barbecue pork. In the end, it's going to cook in this jar because it's going to be in the canner for 75 minutes, and it'll come out with this nice sizzling sauce on top. We load up the canner. We use this to separate the double stacks of pints. You don't have to have a tray in the middle, but I recommend it. The kids just enjoyed playing outside. Their house backs up to the woods, so there's tons of leaves. Little man kind of stays around inside so I can keep an eye on him. And of course, there's plenty of time for just snacking and playing inside too. Plenty of space for all the kids. So Adrian, how long you've been out in your house for what, 6 months now?
Yeah, since June. It's probably like 9 months maybe.
So now that you've had some time out here on your land, if somebody is watching, they think they want to buy land and build a house on it, what would be some words of wisdom you would give them about?
Save money, save as much money as you can right now. Have everything planned out, even to little details.
Adrian, stop pressing it.
Even, if you know things ahead of time, you can save money in the long run. And only get contractors that someone recommends to you. Huge recommendation. Like, don't Google it. You have to talk to a person, and they have to personally know that contractor.
And what is one thing you think you maybe did wrong that in hindsight, not even wrong, but that you learned from? So in hindsight, if you were to go back and tell yourself, don't do that again.
I might not do porcelain countertops.
You don't like, these are pretty though.
They make me nervous a little bit.
Do they chip easily?
They haven't chipped, but they get some like little scratches on them here and there. I feel like over places. It makes me nervous. I'm sure they'll do great and they'll be super awesome, but maybe not the porcelain if I did it again.
While the pork is processing, we'll get started on the soup. So I'm gonna chop up about 1 pound of carrots into little circles. We're saving the peels. Adrian's gonna make broth on another day, so we're gonna just throw them in the freezer. And then we're also gonna chop up a bag of celery. I can't remember how big a bag of celery is. Is that a pound? Not sure. And then I'm gonna do 3 onions as well. Chop these as fast as possible because it always makes my eyes water. Into the pot, we dump about 6 pounds of diced chicken and then as much broth as we can find. We both made some stock the other day and we're just dumping it in. We did not drain the fat off our stock, so you'll notice it looks a little chunky here. When it heats up, it'll look a little more delectable. Just about aesthetics. It's not gonna improve canning safety or anything like that. We're gonna let the soup simmer about 30 minutes. So you have a glass top stove, and one of the number one questions I get on my channel is, can I pressure can on a glass top stove?
Yes, you can. This is it's an induction. So you gotta make sure that you get a canner that can do induction, which this one has. It's aluminum on the outside, but it has a steel base. And I think the box is over there. It has a little induction.
Still working.
this is the certification. I'll link this one below, but there are other brands. Oh, you're in the way, Annie. You want to make sure if you have a glass top stove that your canner is rated as induction compatible. That is how you know it will work. I think one of my canners is induction compatible that I use all the time. I know the other one is not. So don't just buy any canner off the internet, no matter how good the price is. If you have a glass top stove, it has to be induction compatible or it will not be safe to use at home. Okay, this is why it's important to have the correct canner if you have a glass top stove. So these look identical and these are both Prestos. But the one on the right is Adrian's, which is induction compatible, and the one on the left is mine. It is not induction compatible. I believe that means that it is aluminum all the way through, and what happens on her stove is if we try to warm up the canner, we're going to tell the oven to heat up. It will not allow the stovetop to heat up because it senses that this canner does not have the correct type of metal on the bottom to be used safely on this burner. So we still do want to do a lot of canning. So what we're going to do, she's outside actually. She has an outside propane burner and we're going to put my canner on that. A lot of people do canning outside anyway. It's nice because it doesn't get the inside of your kitchen all hot and steamy. Her house is actually really nice. It's super open. Isn't that nice? So you don't really have to worry about that as much. But in our little kitchen with the super low ceilings, in the summer, it gets pretty hot when we try to can. And so in the future, I would like to have a nice outdoor set like Adrian has so that I can do my canning outside instead of steaming up my tiny little kitchen. But in here, it's not as much of a problem because she has lots of space for nice tall ceilings. There's lots of room for that steam to go. Okay, the barbecue pork is done after 75 minutes in the canner and it's cooled all the way down. We're going to open it up. Always open your canner away. You do not want steam burns. It's very hot in there. We're going to unload them onto this cookie sheet. You're going to be able to see that the liquid does not cover the meat all the way. This is not a broth-filled canning job, so you're going to have some above the line of the liquid, and that's totally okay. There they are. They look great and they smell awesome. Oh, I do a lot of canning, and I'm a full-time stay-at-home parent, but Adrian here is a super cool, works in higher education, close to full-time. Is it full-time?
Yeah, it's like 4 days a week. Yeah.
So how do you work in time for canning when you're not only a mom, but you're also working a job?
I have 1 day off, so I use that day pretty wisely, and the weekends we do a lot of fun stuff. Yeah, and I sometimes, actually at my work, that's where I've gotten a lot of bonus produce. I've got boxes of tomatoes and peppers and stuff, so.
Awesome.
Got some connections there too.
And what's your favorite thing to can so far?
Maybe banana peppers.
Ooh, do you do the vinegar, do you pickle them or do you just can them?
Yeah, I used another recipe from this little guy. It had you put horseradish in it and everything.
Ooh, that sounds, you use them on sandwiches?
Yes, yeah, I got some here if you want to try them.
Yeah. I might pop open a jar. So these are banana peppers with horseradish?
I'm pretty sure I got it from, I should look it up. Yeah, I let them.
Let me get a little plate. Steal Bruce's plate here. I like things that are tangy and slightly spicy, so this is going to be right up my alley. Oh. Mm-hmm. Those are good.
Yeah, this is it right here.
Candy sauce.
Yeah, I followed that one to a T.
They have a real nice bite. Mm-hmm. I like it. We'll be making these at home this summer after our peppers come in. Those are really good. I made I call them Subway style, Subway restaurants, you go get banana peppers. Mm-hmm. I've made them that way, and that's pretty good, but they're not hot. They're just tangy, but I like that those have like a spicy afterbite. They come back and get you.
Maybe it's a horseradish.
I think so, yeah, it's good. Side note, Adrian has the coolest oven mitts I've ever used. They are so soft inside. I will link them below. They are super neat. Anyway, we're going to get our jars out of the oven. We just warmed them up, and we're going to go ahead and load up our soup that's been simmering about 30 minutes. And we're going to do pints again, and we'll do some quarts this time. I think we made about 5 quarts and 12 or 16 pints. I'm sorry, I can't remember exactly. It was a lot of soup. I like the pints because I can just send them with Sam for work, and he can heat them up in the microwave in that glass jar, and it saves making extra dishes. We're gonna can half of these outside on my canner, so Adrian gets the outside gas burner lit up. That always makes me a little nervous, just because I'm not very experienced with them, but she's a pro, so she got it right away. We're gonna load these canners, and then we're gonna get them up to a boil, get a nice steam chimney coming out top before we lock them down and get them up to pressure. We're gonna do pints outside, and we'll do the quarts inside. You can can them in the same canner, the pints and quarts, but you need to always go with the time for the largest jar size. In this case, it's going to be 90 minutes for the quarts inside, 75 for the pints outside. Okay, the canners are still going, but we need to get home and make dinner. So Adrian is going to monitor them to the end for me. And but we got to get all the kids out of here so they can make dinner today. So it's always fun to can with a buddy, right? Yes. It makes it go a lot faster, and it's also nice because the kids have somebody to play with. So Mommy, thank you for letting us take over your house and making some food with us today.
Yeah, it was super fun.
It was. We will do it again soon, I'm sure. This is like our second or third? I can't remember if you... Did you come over when I did one at my house?
No, yeah, it's the second one.
It's the second one together, so it's fun. Community makes the dream work, right?
Yeah.
Thanks so much for watching, guys. We'll see you all next time.